Hello, Linda. I will be asking you 20 questions this afternoon. First question. What do you think of slavery?
Well, it's a simple question. Slavery, I think of it like a demon. Usually in my book, I capitalize slavery because it's not, I consider it as a demon. It's like a person, a very bad person that does damage to our society. So my whole book talks about it, and I simply describe my life as a slave. Many will think I over exaggerate things, but I am definitely not. That's how slavery is. That's how cruel slavery is.
Second question. What are the worst thing Dr. Flynn has done to you?
Oh, he has done a lot of bad things to me. He has ruined my innocence when I was a child by introducing vile words to me when he was and he almost killed one of my child. He threw across the room. I believe it was Benny, and he's just a cruel person, and identifies himself as a follower of God, but he really isn't.
Question number three. What do you think of the point of view the church has on slavery?
Some preachers are nice and are actually um, God's follower, but some preachers take advantage of their religious power to threaten slaves by saying God won't let them into heaven if they do not work hard. And I do not share the same point of view as at all, because we are all God's children, and slavery shouldn't be a thing.
Question number four. What message are you trying to spread to the women in the North?
I am trying to describe my miserable life as a slave and the social inequalities a black woman has to go through. I'm trying to tell them that slavery is bad and society shouldn't function that way.
Question number five. What law will you pass if you had a president's power, and will you seek vengeance?
I will obviously forbid slavery and might minimize prejudice against African Americans. I do not seek vengeance because I seek peace. It would not be wise of me to seek vengeance when I've been through a lot of bad things.
Question number six. How are you feeling most of the time when you were in your grandma's attic?
I had many feelings. I sometimes felt sad. Sometimes I just wanted to stretch and breathe the fine air outside, but I couldn't. And I just felt very, very, very trapped. Whenever I see my children through the hole I made, my heart just warms up.
Question number seven. What was your first feeling you had when entering the free state?
I felt free at last. I thought all of my problems were solved. I thought that I was far away from prejudices and slavery. I thought I was finally going to live a normal life. I thought.
Question number eight. Mrs. Bruce is a very noble and a kind-hearted woman. What do you think everybody needs to be like her?
I am not asking everybody to be like her. I want everybody to be understanding and wise like her. The key to this is education. Certain Americans call their country a free place where all men have rights. But what we have is a free state where white men have power and rights. And what we need is a place where where it's free for all men and women.
Question number nine. What are you thought on Great Britain?
So Great Britain is an amazing place. Some people earn very little money, but at least they do not have to fight for freedom. I went there once with Mrs. Bruce and Mary, and it was one of my best vacations because I just did not have to think about Dr. Flint. I did not have to think about slavery. I was just integrated.
Question number 10. What is one lesson you learned from your past?
I learned to be wise and always fight for what you rightfully deserve. Some people might think, some people might be cruel and mean to you sometimes, but not everybody's the same. So keep up the faith.
Question 11. Did you ever exaggerate about somebody you described in your book?
No, I never have. I am just describing what I see. Some people are just very cruel, and everything I wrote in my book is genuine. I saw them with my own eyes, and everything is true.
Question 12. Why didn't you not escape when you were younger?
I did not think that running away was a good idea until I had children. I originally ran away because I wanted to free my children.
Question 13. How do you feel about Mr. San and Mr. Hoops?
Well, so Mr. Sands obviously lied to me. He promised good education and a good care for Ellen, but obviously he didn't provide that, and neither did Mr. Hobbs. Ladies, always be careful about who you put your trust with. And Mr. Sands and Mr. Hobbs aren't evil people. They just don't see how big of an impact their lives have on people.
Question 14. Will you ever live in Europe?
I probably will. At least in Europe, people don't judge me and my children as much as here. Now I am free, but I will probably just stay here. But when I was still a slave, I probably would have thought about moving to Europe.
Question 15. What do you think of systemic racism nowadays?
Obviously, systemic racism is almost gone now, but there are still some cases of racism. I acknowledge that society will always have some racist people, and we can't change that. At least society isn't as racist as before, I guess.
Question 16. Have you ever thought about suicide?
I have. I thought about killing myself. At least when I kill myself, I'll be free and go to heaven. I did not do so because of my children. They mean everything to me. They mean a lot to me, and they needed my care, and they needed somebody for them.
Question 17. Will you ever consider marrying?
I'm currently not planning on doing so, and I probably will not marry somebody. I have a hard time trusting people. I have some trust issues sometimes because of my experience in slavery. And if I ever do marry, I will need to know my partner, a lot.
Question 18. Do you sometimes return to the South to visit some of your old friends?
I sometimes do, but I do not like staying there because it reminds me of the time when I was trapped in slavery. I only go back to the South because I want to visit some of my friends who have helped me when I escaped, and I just want to honor them and not just leave them. So I sometimes do.
Question 19. What do you think of the Black Lives Matter?
The Black Lives Matter movement is obviously racist. racism based, meaning it started because of a racist case. It all started when George Floyd was killed, um, and uh, it's hard to believe, but I do not support the Black Lives Movement because of all the bad things and pain it has done. Some people will destroy shops. Some people will do a lot of bold things. I understand that people want to rebel because um, they don't feel equal as some other people. But we can avoid violence. We can protest um, in a nice way. We can avoid violence.
Question 20. If black people could own slaves, will you consider your statement about slavery being bad?
Definitely not. It's not because black people could own slaves that I'll reconsider my statement. Because it's not about who owns slaves. It's about it's just not right. Slavery is just not right. Nobody should be anybody's property. Nobody should own somebody as their property because everybody have rights, and it's just not the way it works.
Thank you.
Thank you.